Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how I went from 409 to 259 in the marathon in less than 2 years. As a normal dude who didn't have a running background, really picked up the hobby during COVID and I just wanted to talk through my experience and some of the things I did to knock essentially an hour and 10 minutes off of my marathon time. Just a background on my running experience. So I started running during COVID when all the gyms were shut down in LA, and there's nothing else to do besides run. So threw on the running shoes, started going out running 4 to 5 miles, and I would just haul ass in those runs and run as fast as I could. Eventually that led to an injury. And then once I had runner's knee and once I got healed up from that, I decided I wanted to do a half marathon and trained for a half marathon. Did the Long Beach half marathon. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm gonna run why not do it twice? So I signed up for the LA Marathon in 2021 and went in like an idiot. Didn't eat before. Had those little Cliff blocks, which have barely any calories and they're like this big. You have to carry them in your pocket. And that eventually led, I think I was trying to hold 8-minute mile pace, and I did okay until around mile 20, and then bonked so hard, fell into the crowd, legs completely cramped, and I had to jog essentially for the last 6 miles, which probably took me 12-minute mile pace. And I finished at 4:09 and crawled across the finish line. And then I did LA Marathon in 2022, ran a 3:42. It is a hard course, so that's just something to keep in mind. And ran 3:42 in 2022. Got a little bit better about my fueling, still didn't perfect it. And then 2023, I ran the Mesa Marathon here in Arizona, ran a 3:17, and then I ran 2:59 at Chicago later that year. Then I've ran some more marathons since then. And I think my floor now is around like a 3-hour marathon. I just ran 3:05 at Mesa. And hopefully I'll be able to get closer to the 250 or sub 250 mark later this year. They're hard races, and I think not every race is going to be a PR. So I think I've learned that lesson the hard way, that they're hard and there's a lot of training that goes into it. And that's the first thing I wanted to talk about, is just having a plan versus just winging it. I think for me, I was like, I'll figure it out. There's plenty of information online. I'll be able to go out there and just do it. And that is just not the reality for most people. Maybe some people are genetic anomalies and can go out and run a marathon easily, but for 99% of the people, that's just not the case. I think having some semblance of a plan is really important. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to hire a coach or anything like that, but just have some structure to your week. I think that'll just keep you guarded and will make sure that you're not going too fast on some days, or at least have a plan where you're building up weekly mileage. And that was something I didn't do. And looking back, I wish I did that more. The other thing is just realize that it's going to take time to build endurance and build fitness. I think as you stack the miles and stack the builds on each other, that's when the improvements will come, but they are incremental. It's hard to see a lot of improvements overnight, but I will say year to year, when you see the improvements, it's really cool. And like going from a 4:09 to a 2:59 marathon, after the 4:09 marathon, I'm like, I don't know how people even run 8-minute paces for a marathon, let alone 6:50. So I think it is amazing to see what you're capable of, but just understand that it's going to take time, and not to rush things, and just be patient in the process. And also another thing is there are sacrifices to marathon training, and I don't think people just see, like I ran a marathon today on Instagram or something, but they don't really see the behind the scenes of, it's a lot of work and a lot of time and energy goes into it. you have to say no maybe to going out and having drinks with your friends if you have a long run the next day. So there are some sacrifices. There definitely is a lot of monotony to the training. So yeah, just be aware of that. Run with friends or with a running group just to change things up. And yeah, just understand that there's going to be a lot of monotony and a lot of days where you're not going to want to run. And so the real challenge is when your motivation is lacking, how are you just getting out of bed and putting in those miles when you really don't want to, and running sounds like the last thing you want to do. And then the final thing I'll just quickly hit on is like recovery and injury prevention, and also just nutrition. So recovery wise, I got so much better at my sleeping. I really didn't have an injury for about 4 years because I slowly built up my volume. I didn't go crazy on my easy days. I rested. I got a lot of sleep. I really prioritized my sleep. And again, that comes with maybe saying no to doing the other things when you're marathon training. And then, yeah, the strength training is super important, specifically your leg day. Are you doing the single leg movements? Are you keeping your legs strong? Because running will create discrepancies in your legs. Maybe your quads will get overdeveloped, and that will put a lot of pressure maybe on your knees or your IT bands. So you just want to make sure you're balanced, you have good form. And I think having strong legs will definitely help in that area. And then finally, I think the biggest thing for me was honestly race day nutrition and practicing how I was going to fuel for the marathon. Again, I bonked on my first 2 marathons, and that just came from a lack of fuel and knowledge of what I needed. And now I have it pretty dialed in. It's still a difficult thing to get perfect during a marathon, just given stomach issues. You have to feel really good, but the more you practice that race day nutrition on long run days, the better you will feel and more prepared you'll feel during the marathon. And yeah, you're just really using a lot of fuel during these races. And how you're replenishing those glycogen stores is super important. And it's not an easy thing to master, but you really need to practice it on those long run days. And just make sure you're incorporating that in your training plan if you're making one. But hopefully that was helpful. Those are just a few things that help me take off a lot of time. And I work a normal 9-to-5 job and have other commitments in life and like doing other things in my life. So you definitely can still do it. There just needs to be some good time management and some expectations and how long things are going to take and the work that needs to be done. So hopefully that was helpful. And go kill your training and crush your next race. And I'll see you on the next video.